There are forests in this world where the trees are old enough to remember things we've forgotten, where the dark between the branches is thick enough to hide something that does not want to be named. And in the forests of Pennsylvania, something has been given a name. Whether it deserves one is the question that keeps the locals from going in after dark. Welcome back to Karma Quietly Whispers, my loves. This is your place for spooky, creepy, and scary stories. My name is Elara, and I am your whisperer. Tonight, please join me as we journey together. I'm sure you will enjoy what is to come. So, let us begin. Tonight, we go deep, deep into the Allegheny National Forest, deep into one of the oldest, darkest pieces of northeastern American wilderness, in search of a legend that has quietly terrified the people who live near it for as long as anyone can recall. They call it the Allegheny Shadow Stalker. I want to tell you about this the way it was told to me, the way these stories are always told, around low light, in careful voices, with the unspoken understanding that speaking it too loudly might, just might, draw something's attention. The Allegheny National Forest sits across 4 counties in northwestern Pennsylvania. 500,000 acres of ancient hardwood, deep ravines, cold streams, and a silence that is not peaceful. It is a silence that has texture, weight, awareness. Hikers who go in alone, experienced ones, sometimes come out talking about a feeling they can't explain. A feeling of being accompanied by something they never saw. The Allegheny Shadow Stalker is said to be, at its core, a twisted variation of the skinwalker, a concept with roots in indigenous folklore, a being capable of assuming the shape of what it needs to be in order to move among you, to approach, to deceive, to take. But where the classic skinwalker belongs to specific cultural traditions with specific rules, the Allegheny Shadow Stalker is something that has evolved in the folklore of this particular region, shaped by the forest itself, perhaps? Darker in some ways, more patient. It is described as tall, impossibly tall for something that should be human. Gaunt, like a skeleton that remembers having flesh but has mostly forgotten. It wears what looks like tattered black, robes, or perhaps just the darkness itself, worn like a garment. Hikers who claim to have seen it describe the way it seems to blur at the edges, as if it is not entirely solid, as if it exists slightly between states. Its eyes glow, amber bright in the deep dark of the forest, not headlamp bright, not animal eye reflective. The light comes from within, and when those eyes find you, really find you, something in the human animal knows, on a level below language, that it is being assessed. Its hands are wrong. The fingers are too long, and they end in something that is not quite a fingernail and not quite a claw, but somewhere between the two. And from those elongated fingertips, witnesses say, drips something dark, not blood, something older. It makes its home in a hidden glen, deep in the heart of the forest. The stories describe a place where ancient trees press close, where twilight bursts even at noon, where the air itself feels heavy with something that has been there a very long time. Trees grow at wrong angles around this place. The undergrowth dies back in a circle, as if something poisons the ground it rests on. and the trees around it, the old growth giants, some of them hundreds of years old, seem to whisper. Not metaphorically. Those who claim to have been near this place describe hearing something that can only be called a warning. A hiss through leaves when no one moves. A sound like language, spoken just below the threshold of understanding. The trees, it said, are trying to turn you back. Listen to the trees. The Shadow Stalker's method is not violence, not at first. It is seduction. It is the promise of guidance when you're lost, of safety when you're afraid. Hikers who become disoriented in the Alleghenies sometimes report hearing a voice, low, close, from just beyond where they can see, offering direction, offering help. Everything in you wants to follow a voice when you're lost. That's not weakness, that's humanity. We are built to move toward voices, toward language, toward the implication of another person. The Shadow Stalker knows this. Those who have followed the voice are not there to tell us what happened next. They are simply not there. Their trails go cold in a way that search and rescue finds difficult to explain. Footprints that stop without any sign of a struggle, as if the person simply ceased to be at a particular point in the forest. Am I telling you this is real? Am I telling you there is a supernatural being of tattered darkness hunting the trails of Pennsylvania? I'm telling you that the people who live near that forest believe it. I'm telling you that this legend has not faded the way invented things tend to fade. I'm telling you that the Allegheny has an unusual number of missing persons cases for a forest of its type, and that some of those disappearances have never been explained. I'm telling you that every legend exists because something kept making people tell it. Whether that something is a creature of shadow and claw, or a danger that the human mind has clothed in supernatural imagery because that's the only vocabulary large enough for it, the warning is the same. Do not follow voices in the dark of the Allegheny. Do not enter the forest alone. If you feel watched, that particular watched, where the hair on your arms rises and your stomach drops, do not investigate. Do not call out. Do not try to see what's seeing you. Turn around. Walk out. Do not look back. There is a reason humans have been telling stories like this since before written language. Not because we are primitive and afraid of the dark, but because the dark, and what moves through it, has always deserved our respect, our caution, our willingness to say, there are things in this world I do not fully understand, and I will act accordingly. The Allegheny Shadow Stalker is a legend, but the forest is real, and the people who vanished in it were real too. Go in with company. Tell someone your route. Do not chase sounds or lights or voices that should not be there. And when the trees begin to whisper, let them finish. I've been to forests that feel like this, where the air changes, where the quiet is wrong, and I have always listened to that feeling. I suggest you do the same. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Elara, and I am your whisperer. I'll be here, waiting for you next time. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below. I want to hear your stories. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more. This has been Karma Quietly Whispers. See you soon.